Hello everyone, in this video I am going to show you how to create this bird illustration in the app IBIS paintx. I will be giving step-by-step instruction, so don't skip the video anywhere. Let's get started. So I am opening a FHD canvas, and first I am going to draw the basic shape using which we can create our bird. So for that I am going to use the circle tool, oval or ellipse tool, and then rectangle tool, and the brush I'm using is felt tip pen hard. So I'm just creating the ellipse shape, and using the transform tool I'm just repositioning it and resizing it so that it gives some sort of bird shape. Then using the rectangle tool I'm going to draw its feather. So using this I'm just drawing the shape somewhere in the empty space. Then using the transform tool, in that I'm using the perspective transform to create some angle elevation in the sides and positioning it like this. So here I need a triangle, so I'm using this tool to create this triangle. Just using the lasso tool, select that triangle and position it like this using the transform tool. So this is the easy way that helps you to create the realistic bird from the basic shapes. So now what I'm going to do is, using the dip pen hard brush, I'm going to join and adjust the shape from this basic shape by drawing the lines wherever I need and cover the space. And if I don't need some shapes, just eliminating it. So like that I'm going to do here. For the body part I'm going to add a little bit of bulge near the stomach area like this. And in the feather part I feel that the triangle is bigger, so I'm just creating smaller feather shape but in the same angle. So this is how I want the bird to be. So I just reduce the opacity of the layer because this is just for our reference. Now I'm going to create the original sketch from this basic shape layer. Note that this basic sketch or the newly drawing sketch, whatever maybe, it is not going to be visible in the final outcome. So don't worry if you make any variations or scribblings here and there. Don't worry about that because this is not going to be visible. And here I just try to make the shapes exactly as much as possible without making too much overwriting or drawing. And here I want the branch to be, so wherever you make some overlaps, just use the special lasso eraser tool to erase the unwanted lines. So here you can see there is unwanted line, so using special lasso eraser tool I'm just erasing it here. So like this I'm erasing wherever I want. Now I'm going to draw the foot details like this. So we can adjust the shapes. Still, if we want to change in the final outcome, just in a new layer while drawing you can adjust, or else you can change the shape or adjust in this layer as well. So here I'm going to add the eye shape. Using the circle tool I'm drawing this, and I'm just switching off the circle tool, and I'm going to add some more details for the face and the body. So this bird is going to be of two color, black and yellow. So in the left side it's going to be yellow, and the right side part that where I'm drawing now, this is going to be in the black color. So now for the coloring, I'm going to draw everything in this single layer. I'm going to color every part of the bird in a single layer. So I just renamed the sketch as a layer as sketch, and in new layer I'm going to color them using the lasso fill tool. So here you can see I'm using the bright yellow color, and I want the shape to be more accurate, that's why I'm using this lasso fill tool. So if you have seen any of my video, you will understand how I use this the lasso fill tool, eraser tool more often than the brush. So I like this tool very much. It is more comfortable, gives us accurate details that we want, which we cannot obtain from the basic brushes available. So for the brushes we have to adjust this size more often, but in this lasso fill tool we don't need any of that. You can simply drag and fill the areas very conveniently. So I prefer using this. So now I finished using the yellow part. Now I'm going to fill the black part area. So here around the mouth, also on the beak, like this. Then for the foot, like this. Okay, now here I'm going to fill with the brush. So since I completed the other sides of the bird just by joining this single line to that part, then filling with the black color gives us exact filling, since we have some very minute details in this area. So in such case it is difficult to use the lasso fill tool. In that time I will make use of the brushes and the the bucket tool. So since there are some gaps, minute gaps, which cannot be filled by the bucket tool, so in that areas I'm using the dip and hard brush to fill. So here I'm using some mango yellow color. So here we done the coloring part. Now I'm going to add the details. So as already if you have seen my videos, you will know that I will use two layers for every art. One is for shadow details. For that I will use the linear burn blending mode, and for the highlight details I use the add blending mode. Here in the linear blending mode layer, clipping layer, I'm just adding these details. Just I'm using the round brush paint to add such a hair like details. And here you can see using the magic wand tool I just selected only yellow areas so that we don't mess up with that black part or any other areas, so we can get the exact look. Also you can see I just used the same yellow color at the beginning, and wherever I need some darkness I just increase the color from yellow to orange and then to brown, something like that. So always consider using the less opacity as much as possible to create these shadow details or the highlight details, whatever, because when you use the full opacity it's going to look very patchy. So don't never do that. And you can see still there are some gaps in the original coloring layer. So I just moved back to that layer, and using the same brush I added these filled the gaps, also added some hair details in the basic area. Now moving back to my linear burn blending mode layer, the shadow layer, I'm going to add this all these black color details, everything. So when it comes to black color, already I have used some not exact black, just something above that, some almost black, but it's kind of gray color. So I use that color. So when we draw some black, full black on that, above that, it gives some dark shades. Okay, now here I'm adding that hair details here as well. Okay, I'm done almost. So whenever you need some hair details, you can either use hair brush, hair oil brush, or hair light brush, or otherwise you can go for some round brush. Here I'm using the round brush. So now I'm going to add the same details using the same brush on the feather part. So you can see first I'm using the yellow color, then gradually I increase the color to some darker shades like orange and brown. You can see how it looks beautiful when we add such a liney details. It looks, like a high quality artwork. Also to the peak I'm adding some orange color. Now I'm going to create a new layer with the add blending mode to add some highlights. Again I'm using the same brush, round brush paint, to add the details. So when it comes to add blending mode, if you're using the 100% opacity, whatever the brush may be, it's going to be very bright. Even it hides all the background detail that we have done already in the lower layer. So always prefer using low opacity, like around 10% or 5%, something like that, to get exact look that I have got. So here I'm using grayish color for the black part to add that highlights. You can also try some dark gray shades. Okay, I'm almost done the hair details, highlight details. Now using the airbrush normal, I'm going to add some shiny details to the foot. Okay, I'm almost done. I forgot to add highlight details here, so adding for the feather as well. Now I'm going to create a new layer with for the eyes. Using the circle tool, filter pen hard brush, I'm going to draw the circle, and like this. Now I'm going to add the highlights for the eye part. So I just created a clipping layer with the add blending mode, and using the add brush normal, I'm going to add the highlights. Now going back to the shadow layer of the bird, I'm just adding some darker shades around the eyes and below the mouth. Now my bird is ready. I'm going to fill the background details now. So I'm just creating a new layer with the name background, and just go to the draw filter, and here you can see something called parallel gradation, and that I'm choosing something like a blue shade to represent the sky. So if you want to change the angle, you can change using the angle option or the invert option. So I'm using the angle option. So I feel like the blue should come at the top like this. Okay, now create a new layer. I'm going to draw the trees, leaves in the background. So I'm using leaf shower brush. Just increase and reduce the size, also change the opacity and color like this. I'm trying different colors which looks better with the blue color sky background. So now I tried something like orange, then above that I used yellow, then using the Gaussian blur I just blurred that entire leaves, so it looks like the trees and leaves are somewhere away from it. Okay, now it's time to draw the branch of the tree in which the bird is sitting. So using the lasso fill tool, I'm just drawing the branches, and this layer is drawn below the the bird layer. Also adding some small branches, then using the leaf shower brush I'm adding the leaves here and there. Then I'm going to add the shadow details. Just create a linear burn blending mode clipping layer, and using the leaves 2 brush I'm going to add some texture details to this. So this is not a leaf, it's just give us some texture. So before that I'm using the magic wand tool to select only brown areas without disturbing that leaf parts. So like this I'm adding the details, then create a new layer. Using the add blending mode I'm going to add the highlight details using the same brush leaf too. Then using the add brush I'm going to add some more highlights to make the stem looks a little bit shiny. Also we can add the details to the leaves as well. Then going back to the linear burn blending layer to add some dark shadows to the leaves. Now the artwork looks really colorful, realistic. So I'm highly satisfied with the result. Now at the top of all the layer I just created the linear burn blending mode layer to add some dark details, and sorry, not linear burn, it's color burn. Now it gives some more flavor to the artwork, so I just used these colors, some orange at the bottom, blue at the top. You can see how the look changed drastically after creating this layer. So now I'm just saving it as PNG, and this is the final look. I hope you like this tutorial. If you like, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.